Have you ever looked at robotics and just thought, nope, way too complicated for me? What if I told you there's a way you could build and program a robot without writing a single line of traditional code? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on all that with a really cool tool called MBlock.
So let's start with the big problem. For a lot of us, the words engineering or robotics conjure up these images of super complex, text-based code and hardware that just looks intimidating. It's a really high barrier to entry that, as this quote points out, can totally discourage people from even giving it a shot.
And this coding barrier is exactly what we're going to tackle. That gap between having a fantastic idea in your head and actually bringing it to life.
So what makes it so tough, really? Well, with traditional hardware programming, you have to learn these complex languages, things like C++ or Java. You're literally facing a blank screen, wrestling with syntax where one tiny mistake like a single misplaced semicolon can bring your entire project to a screeching halt. It's not exactly what you'd call beginner-friendly, right?
But what if we could just scrap that whole approach? What if programming felt less like writing an essay and more like, say, building with Legos? Okay, let's dive into this, because that's the core idea we're exploring now.
And this is MBlock. Think of it like digital building blocks for code. Instead of typing out mysterious commands, you just drag these colorful blocks and snap them together. It makes perfect, logical sense. It's intuitive, it's actually fun, and best of all, it's totally free.
And this right here, this slide just says it all. The idea is that you can control a real, physical Arduino board just by snapping together these super simple visual blocks. No complicated C++ to be found. And that right there is the breakthrough. And don't think for a second that this is just a toy. MBlock is actually built on the foundation of Scratch, which is a huge deal. It's the world-famous visual programming language that came out of the MIT Media Lab. So what that means is, it's all based on years of solid research into how people learn best. It's powerful and incredibly easy to get into.
All right, now for the really cool part. Let's see how MBlock actually connects what you do on your screen to the real world. This is where the magic happens.
First, just look at the screen. With only 2 blocks, a when the green flag is clicked and a forever loop, you can make an object follow your mouse. I mean, look how readable that is. It just makes sense. It's that simple.
And the result? This little panda character follows your mouse around. You can use that same simple logic to build animations, interactive stories, even simple games. And the whole time, you're learning the fundamentals of programming, computational thinking, without even realizing it.
Now take a look at this script. It looks almost identical, doesn't it? It has that same forever loop structure. But instead of controlling a cartoon panda, these blocks are made to talk to actual physical electronics. And here's the payoff. That same script makes a real LED on an Arduino board blink on and off. So the crucial point here is this. The same simple block-based logic you just used for the on-screen panda is now controlling a physical object in your hands. That jump from the digital world to the physical one is almost seamless.
Now, MBlock has 2 main ways it works. Think of Scratch mode as being tethered to your computer. You're connected so you can test things out and interact with your creation live. Arduino mode, on the other hand, is all about independence. You upload your code, unplug the robot, and it just runs all by itself, which is perfect for any project that needs to move around freely.
So what can you actually do with all this? Well, it's a lot more than just blinking lights, that's for sure. Let's see how this all builds toward the bigger picture. You can use these exact same principles to control motors, to read information from sensors, and even to program complete educational robots like this MBot. Suddenly, you're not just learning to code, you're learning how to build things that can move, see, and interact with the world all around them.
And getting started is way simpler than you might think. It's really just a quick 3-step process. First, you tell MBlock what kind of hardware you have. Second, the very first time you use it, you install a little driver. And third, you just select the right USB port to make the connection. That's it. You're in.
And hey, if you want to cut the cord completely, no problem. MBlock also works wirelessly with Bluetooth or these little 2.4G modules, giving your creations total freedom of movement.
So what's the big picture here? What does this all add up to? Well, this is about more than just a single piece of software. It's about a really fundamental shift in how we approach making things with technology.
So why is this so important? Well, tools like MBlock pretty much demolish the old barriers to learning code in electronics. They create this incredibly smooth pathway from animating a character on a screen to building a real robot. And ultimately, this is about a massive shift in mindset. It helps you go from being just a passive consumer of technology to becoming an active creator.
So, the barrier to entry is gone, the tools are right there at your fingertips, and the path from idea to reality is wide open. The only question left is, what are you going to create?